Hello everyone, I'm Renowned Zero, and we are back again talking about yet more Rippaverse Detractors, as these are the type of videos my audience loves to watch, and I listen to my audience, and I thank the audience for being here. I thank the audience for watching the videos all the time. So we're going to jump right into it. As always, I've always got some people who are upset that I say things about their favorite creators, and I always got these weirdos in my comments talking a bunch of noise. Just to show you that this is what success looks like. This is what someone who is passionate about a project pays off for them. Their audience reciprocates and they make money. This is what success does not look like. No subscriber growth, stagnant as hell, barely any views. Right? For a channel with 109,000 subs, you're barely breaking 10k views a day. And it doesn't really look like they are at all. Let me just zoom in a little. Not really. But of course, I always have weirdos in my comments thinking they know much about me, and they talk a bunch of noise. It's always the weirdos from these creators that I talk about who are always talking about Eric July and trying to ankle bite at them, that always have something to say about what I'm doing. Right? So this guy says, I watched the Joking Peasants episode about you. They really tear you apart. To which I respond, and yet I'm growing while they continue to be irrelevant. You can't destroy someone when you're correct. Cope. Basically, that they're talking about my videos like I'm incorrect in some way of their opinion of Eric July, when most of the time they're completely wrong. You've got 846 subscribers while they have over 100k. You know the K stands for 1,000, right? No shit, Sherlock. No shit. To where I said, you know, the sub counts don't really matter nearly as much, right? Getting subs are great, but you have to keep your subs interested in watching your videos in order to make it on YouTube. You must not know how YouTube works. They get 5k views per live stream, which accounts to nothing. No one has been subscribing to their channel. Continue to cope. As I've already showed you, from Social Blade, they've had no subscriber growth whatsoever in the last, 2 years. They've even been losing subscribers by the thousands. Right? Your last video got 75 views in a day, which on the back end it's actually a higher number. With that level of awareness, I'm starting to understand why you're a fan of Eric. Yes, I'm a fan of the guy who's successful while not being a fan of people who aren't successful. So why would I listen to you or them in any way, shape, or form on how to be successful? I would rather listen to the guy who has 2 successful comic book campaigns over people who are constantly either not gaining subs or losing subs. While I continue to grow in subs and views, right? Because I'm honest about what I'm talking about, and I only talk about things that I'm knowledgeable in. These people continue to lose and talk about me being a creator that's not monetized at all, that's set in the way of me telling the truth, right? Telling you the truth to the best of my abilities and giving you the evidence and context for certain things. While you follow a bunch of creators who are irrelevant as hell, trying to bite at the ankles of Eric July and trying to gain some sort of relevancy in the space. Now, I openly admit that I make videos talking about Eric July, similar to any content creator who talks about Marvel or DC, their comics and their company. It's the same thing. Eric July, at the end of the day, is part of pop culture. And for people to constantly hate on him is amazing to me. Rather than asking him how he made it, and how he became successful. Y'all will just continue to hate and ankle bite. But now we jump into the real part of this. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Where Grimmy Bub says Eric July doesn't actually care about kids, even though he makes constant videos calling out all the nonsense going on surrounding children with the alphabet community and all that. Not all, obviously. He just wants potential customers and he wants his cult to foot the bill. This isn't charity, it's advertising designed to stroke his ego. Even though he's putting his half of the money into it. Definitely. If he just wanted kids to read comics, he wouldn't care which ones, but they gotta be his, huh? Yeah, no shit. That's how he grows. Talks about his own product that's actually good, rather than crappy product that Marvel and DC are putting out. That's always pushing identity politics and talking about the sexuality of the characters and putting that at the forefront rather than the story. Where his comic is apolitical and doesn't do any of that. Doesn't preach to you. Oh, of course we have Vicky Verse once again. Honest, I wasn't going to say anything, but what WTF? There's so much wrong here. I almost don't know where to start. Their hands, her right arm, the latent post coming out of July's spine, Isom's missing right arm, the god-awful wonky perspective, July's lockjaw. Again, you are not successful in any way, so you should have no opinions about anything. Considering you are said bald-headed wench who is homeless, on charity, and has no job. You should be giving no advice to someone who is actually making it in life. Who actually knows what they're talking about as far as the business sense. Right? I give them at best 2 years before all the right-wing hype for Isom dies down. After that, it would just be there, existing without much relevance. Well, we're into the second year of Isom, and where is still relevant. I'm sorry that the mainstream comic access media doesn't talk about this comic book like that, because Eric July has opinions they don't like. I'll take that bet. Yeah, whatever, dude. Here's how to disprove CG people like the meth dealer. Oh, sorry, Neurotic. So they always bring up this thing with Gary from Neurotic about his past life, which, by the way, he has openly put out himself, and he's not ashamed of it at all, because he came out of it on the other side being very successful, having a very successful YouTube channel, and no longer doing that, right? And having a family and all that other stuff. So to say that this is somehow an own, like using this as some type of own, is very weird. Everyone knows who Spider-Man is. Not really. People think Miles Morales is. Everyone knows who Batman is. Not really. People think Batgirl is, or maybe at times. Everyone knows who Superman is. Not really. People think John Kent is Superman when it's actually Clark Kent. Nobody outside their internet bubble has any idea who or what Isom is. Meanwhile, he's had it in comic shops and they immediately sell out. We've already seen this. You know about this? Fat crack smoker wants to sit in the front row to watch Air July fight random ankle biter. This is a dude from Drunken Peasants, of course, who is fat, and yeah.
He's done the convention circuit.
Hannibal knows a lot about comics too.
Bitch, like I already have, and then send it to you.
Dudes are still calling Air July bitch in the background.
Damn.
So we can read that shit on
I gave it to him.
Oh, damn.
Oh, shit. There's that nigga's whole comic.
They're just talking, they're literally just talking crap about how they pirated Eric July's comic. That's literally what they're doing right now.
Just like that.
I like it.
Just on live YouTube. You can see pirated the fuck out of it.
Oh, listen, you can call me Captain Jack Sparrow in this motherfucker.
Oh, that's the clip that I showed in my last video.
Okay?
That's fucking illegal.
Yeah.
I
Want it, you're going to have to buy it just like...
the July fans. This is the Eric July fan edit.
So, just like
go,
we did.
go pay $35.
So yeah, Eric July fans, please talk Eric July into fighting the guy with the mask on that you say doesn't look tough. Please.
He doesn't, and I can guarantee Eric would absolutely wreck him in a boxing match.
Please have Eric July fight this guy. I'm gonna buy a fucking...
Also, Eric July doesn't get into actual fights like that because he's not a fucking child. That's what children do.
front row seat when this happens. Please have Eric July, who's like 5'8", maybe
He's definitely not 5'8".
200 pounds, fight this
Probably 200 pounds of muscle looking at him.
other dude here. Please do it.
Because the fats don't understand muscle weighs more than fat.
I'm gonna bet some money on it when it happens.
I would bet on Eric July all the way.
What is up with my eyes?
Is something in
Did you
my...
catch it over the internet?
Eric July is smart enough to know he can't fuck with this dude. He knows.
You would think so, right? Yeah, no. You're wrong. Eric July won't fuck with this dude because it's just opinions on the internet, dude. To him, it's just opinions on the internet. He's just going to monetize the haters, make money, and continue to grow generational wealth, rather than wasting his time with some dude who's irrelevant on the internet.
He can.
It must be, you know what it is?
You know, fighting him in a boxing match or whatever that they want to claim that they'll do.
Monty, it's all the fat floating around.
Yeah, it's all this fat.
It probably is. We have this clip from Pop Counterculture. I don't know how recent this is, but we'll listen to it real quick. Very terrible.
Them are fucking getting old. Goddamn right I did, buddy. 100%. Yes, I did. And I'll say it again. Eric July's and Uncle Tom. There you go.
Just remember, these are the type of people that come into my comments. The fans of these type of people come into my comments talking a bunch of nonsense. Just remember that at the end of the day. This was actually funny. I'm going to skip that, though. If you bought a copy of the comic book Isom, you can unfollow. Yeah, why would I follow someone who can't even handle the fact that someone likes Isom and you don't? You're free to not like it. It's okay. It's just weird that these people think that everyone else should have the same opinion as them. You've managed to assume... Bro, nobody mentioned anything about what you like to do in your bedroom. The topic is you inhaling 1,724 calories like a snack on a live stream. Is, hey, I'm gay, the most interesting aspect of your life? To him, yes. To Eric Reloaded, being queer is the most interesting aspect of his life because he's constantly talking about it. You've managed to consume an insane amount of calories in one sitting while hating and complaining. Seemingly, there should be much better things to do with your time. So now you want to tell gay people how to eat? It's like, dude, no one gives a shit whether you're gay. By the way, you always call yourself queer, by the way. So are you gay or are you queer? Which one is it? Because you seem to be flip-flopping between the two like they're interchangeable. It's so weird, man. If you wanted to donate books to charity, you would have just donated the books to charity. The fact that his donation is contingent on the sale of a donated book and that donated book still costs 25 effing dollars make it clear that he is using charity as a thinly veiled marketing technique to move additional books. He's attempting to capitalize on people's goodwill and he has no problem emotionally manipulating his audience. Yeah, says the guy who found a page or a page with panels on it from Eric's supposed Isom 1 that weren't even from the book. Self-owning yourself in a live stream. For people who are fans of Eric July who've seen that was hilarious. That was the funniest thing ever. That this man stepped away from Twitter after being absolutely destroyed in a live debate and destroying himself on top of it. Isom has never drawn the same twice. This is the Vicky Verse. This is the Vicky Verse talking point. Or actually it might be the Dane talking point. And the only way we know that is Eric is the hat and beard. These people are still claiming that Isom is a self-insert. For some reason, none of his artists are able to capture his likeness properly. Eric has the money to hire professional work. There's no need for this amateur fan art. Newsflash, anyone who does artwork knows that everyone has a different style of drawing. So of course Eric is gonna look, Isom is gonna look different with each artist that draws him. And yet, again, we're talking about a person who had 2 successful comic campaigns versus Vicky Verse, the bald-headed wench. WTF is the Rippaverse, a crappy comic book whose lone comic is a poor man's Luke Cage. Also, the creator is extremely anti-American. Where? He's an anarcho-capitalist. We live in a society of capitalism. Mind blown. Wow. So anti-American. Yeah. So weird, dude. Like, these people have nothing going on in their lives that they have to constantly hate on someone who's just living in his own sandbox, making his own comic books, and making money on said comic books, and y'all are just out here biting at the ankles of someone who's more successful than you, rather than asking him how he did it. Rather than asking Eric July how he became successful, you decide that it's okay, we should say all these mean, nasty things about Eric July, and you expect him to reciprocate in a nice way. You expect Eric July to reciprocate in a nice way after all the disgusting things you say about him and all the egregious lies that you say about him, yet you expect him to respond to you with some type of respect. Respect is earned, it's not given. So, but this is all I have to say for today. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit that like button. Comment below what you feel about all this. Do not interact with anyone that I've shown on this video. Subscribe for more content. Click on the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you get notifications anytime I post a new video. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.